Look his face.
Yeah.
He's dangerous.
He's special.
You can like.
The guy is special. Everything that could possibly be special about this guy is special. A guy like this is the type of guy that you love to watch and follow. The most special guy that I've ever come across.
Hello and welcome back to the Pedram Core Sports Show presented by Prospect Apparel. Today we're doing something new, and this is something I want to do for every single fight card this year. If I can, I will announce on Twitter or Instagram that there will not be a breakdown video, but for every single card this year, I'm going to run through the main card, talk about where I see each fight going and my predictions. And at the end of the year, I'm going to tally up all the fights I predicted and then how many I got right, and see if I'm a reliable person to pick fights or I'm just an avid MMA fan who can't pick fights for the life of me. So, Sean Strickland versus Nasruddin Imavov is our main event this weekend, taking place in the Apex. Obviously, a few days ago, the fight was Nasruddin Imavov versus Kelvin Gastelum. Now, that has changed due to a Kelvin Gastelum injury. I don't know if you guys have seen, it's been making its rounds on Twitter, and I believe it's on Brett Okamoto's Instagram if you want to have a look. But he has a nasty mouth injury. It looks like he has a bit of a ringworm as well. Sean Strickland steps in, so we end 2022 with the Sean Strickland main event, and we started with the Sean Strickland main event. Now, I think this fight is actually worse for Nasruddin Imavov than the Kelvin Gastelum one. Not saying Kelvin Gastelum was a bad matchup. I was going to pick Imavov in that. Now, in this fight, I'm leaning for Sean Strickland by decision, and here's why. Sean Strickland, awesome gas tank, and difficult style to fight. I mean, he's going to jab your nose off, he's going to jab your face off, and Imavov's gas tank is what worries me about him getting high in this division, getting up in the rankings. Obviously, if you watch the Phil Haas fight, his gas tank just plummeted. And also, if you watch the Buckley fight, his gas tank was really bad in the third round. He nearly lost a fight in there. And that was why it was a 29-28 scorecard, I believe. Sean Strickland, good gas tank, as I already said. I just think this fight favors Strickland a lot more than it did Gastelum. So I will be picking Sean Strickland by decision. But I think they should still rebook Nasruddin Imavov versus Kelvin Gastelum for later in the year, maybe early next year, depending on Kelvin Gastelum's injury. I'm sure Kelvin Gastelum wants to fight as soon as possible after missing all of 2022. Dan Ige versus Damon Jackson. Damon Jackson has been climbing the ranks. Well, he's been climbing the ranks from the unranked perspective. He's been getting up there. You know, Dan Argueta was a recent win, but also his last win really showed the MMA fans, man, don't sleep on Damon Jackson. Front kicked Pat Sabatini, who I was very high on as a prospect, and then finished him early in the first round. But Dan Ige, man, I can't count him out. He's obviously been in a tough go of it recently, dropping fights to Calvin Kattar, Movsar Evloev, and the Korean Zombie. But I still think he's one of the better ranked top 10 to 15 guys in the world right now. Just in a tough spot. He's fought the best guys in the world, couldn't beat them. So be it. Those are the best guys in the world, as I said. And Damon Jackson is a big step up in competition for him, I believe. Dan Ige, the veteran, he understands what the pressure is. His back is against the wall. But I'm going to pick Dan Ige by decision, but it's going to be close and very competitive. I think Damon Jackson is a very underrated fighter. Moving on to the next fight, we have Punahele Soriano versus Roman Kopylov. Soriano coming off the knockout win over Dacha Lungiambula. Roman Kopylov coming off a knockout win over Alessio De Chirico. Both guys, identical records, pretty much the same in height. I'm not exactly sure what the reach is, but Punahele Soriano is a very good fighter. His losses came to Nick Maximov, which isn't a bad loss to take. Nick Maximov, a very difficult fighter to fight. And I believe Brendan Allen, who just beat him from range when Soriano gassed out, which happens to a lot of fighters. But Soriano has the ultimate equalizer, which is knockout power. Kopylov started the UFC 0-2, got his win over Alessio De Chirico, but I'm going to take Punahele Soriano's second round knockout. And Punahele Soriano is going to keep climbing the ranks. I really like him as a prospect, and he's one to look out for this year and for the future. Ketlin Vieira versus Raquel Pennington. Ketlin Vieira, I think, is near a lock in this fight for me. Ketlin Vieira coming off 2 impressive wins over Holly Holm and Misha Tate by decision. Home one, maybe a little controversial, but it was a good fight. It was a good win for Ketlin Vieira, too. And I think if she can beat Raquel Pennington, she can put herself in line for a title shot in this division. Easier said than done, but I'm going with Ketlin Vieira by decision. I don't think Pennington is good enough to defeat Ketlin Vieira. Main card opener of the year, first main card fight that we've gotten of the year. I've done this in a reverse order due to view time and click time. I know people will probably be more interested in my analysis of Strickland versus Imavov than Umar Nurmagomedov versus Raoni Barcelos. But getting right into this, Raoni Barcelos, good fighter, coming off a very good win over Trevin Jones. Umar Nurmagomedov is fringe elite for me. I think he's not on the elite level just yet, but man, is he good. And Nurmagomedovs are all good, I think. Even the one not related to Khabib is Said Nurmagomedov coming off a win over Said Yakub Kakramanov. And there's a lot of odds in the UFC right now, but they're all very good. Umar Nurmagomedov is going to win this fight by decision. I think he's going to control the entire fight. I do not see him getting a finish, but I see him controlling this fight and going home with another win, moving to 16-0 and climbing up this bantamweight ladder. Looking for a fight in the top 10 now, I believe is number 11. Raoni Barcelos, I don't think is ranked right now, but it would be very interesting to see if any of these top 10 guys want to fight Umar Nurmagomedov. He is a tough fight for everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and go check out Prospect Apparel. It's an awesome clothing brand. I'll see you guys for the next one. I have 2 interviews dropping next week, hopefully, as long as the fighters don't pull out of them. And another fight breakdown dropping for UFC 283, Glover Teixeira, Jamal Hill, and Brandon Moreno versus Davison Figueiredo. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good one.